The nightmare returns to the Midwest. Sammy Andrews and David Bailey bring their own brand of bovine torture to the dirt of Dodge City. Last time the terror struck, it was in South Dakota. Gunslinger slam dunked Davis. Tumbleweed rolled Lackey off his back. Terry Don tried to set up camp on Playboy. The hunk thought, not. And then there was Bodacious versus Bronger. It was no contest. Hang on, everybody. It's bull riding crunch time in the duel at Dodge City. Now on Prime across the world, it's the Wrangler Bull Riders Only Series. Brought to you by Roper Apparel, the greatest looking shirts you'll ever wear. And by Original Coors. Hello, everyone. I'm Hadley Barrett, and as we stand in this arena in Dodge City, Kansas, you can feel the cowboy history. Not only the old outlaws, maybe the lawmen, but also some great rodeo champions, both past and present. And while maybe the beat of those cattle drives, the hoof beats of those cattle drives may have disappeared, John Sullivan, but I can tell you we may have it back tonight with bulls like Bodacious, Playboy, Gunslinger, and others. Speaking of Shaw Sullivan, he's an authority on bulls. He's also an authority on bull riders only because it's your baby, your brainchild. I know that we've got some great bulls, some great cowboys. Shaw, what is the temperature of the competition here?
Hot here in Dodge City, and the bull riding's going to be hot as well. Anytime you get David Bailey and Sammy Andrews together, you got a situation that is not fair for the Cowboys, especially in that final round of competition. But, you know, the heat here in Dodge City is really going to play a benefit to the Cowboys because the bulls being big like they are, sometimes that heat affects them, and hopefully maybe it'll even things out for them.
Well, we'll see what happened in San Jose by taking a look at the highlights. And you can see what happened at our last stop on Bull Riders Only. Here, it looks, well, kind of like the bulls maybe have a little bit of control. But when we go into the top four, the standings as we see them now, you can see Terry Don West is still up on top. ADRIANO MORAES, we're going to see him here tonight. Wes Sear, a great Canadian, is in there. Also, Dax Lackey is on the roster tonight. Greg Ools is also in there. We'll be back with action. We can make some changes right here tonight, so join us. We'll be back with bull riding. Welcome back, everyone, to Dodge City, Kansas. Bull Riders Only as we join you from the fairgrounds. And we've just completed round number one. Here's a couple of guys very, very important to our game on any level. That's our official judges. It's a brother team. On the left, you'll see Chuck. On the right, it is Darrell. Those are the Hoss boys. Wild Creek Valley in Colorado is where they hail. Over on the left side is Lloyd Ketchum. He is one of the great protectors in this bull riding. And the funny guy, Dwayne Hargo, working with him. You take a look now at the Samtown highlights, and you see what's happened in round one. As we take a look at them here, we're looking at 3 of the 8 that move on. Darty Saunders is a Kansas man. He scored a 75 there, and he was obviously an in-house favorite because Darty comes from Kansas, and we'll see him back, obviously. Herman Williams. Boy, I like the way this guy rides. He's hot tonight. This is going to make it work for him. It's also going to pick him up a check in round one. Williams comes back from the 2 level with an 82 score on that ride. Randall Thornton is a Texas kid. They matched him up with bodyguard of the Andrews Company, and the outcome, the bull slowed a little at the end, didn't throw Thornton a curve at all. With a 73 score, he's in there. Joining him are the likes of Clarence Gibson. He'll be in there. Mike Hermanson. Jimmy Morris is an Oklahoma man. Josh O'Brien will be coming back among our qualifiers. Darty Saunders, Randall Thornton, we saw those guys. Williams, Shane Thurston is in there. They go against the 10 seeded people that were already in. Clint Bronger, who happens to be, I believe, the number 3 overall money winner of Bull Riders Only. Mark Kane, he's an in-house favorite. Cheyenne's Jeff Cathcart will be there. Jerome Davis, Myron Dwart. Those are some of the guys you'll see among our seeded. Other winners up in Tacoma, it was Dax Lackey that picked up a win up there. ADRIANO MORAES, Richard Rule, Aaron Seamus, Jim Sharp. That's the way they look. We'll be back with round 2 right after we pause for this important word. Stay with us. August 27th, Salt Lake City, Utah, at the Delta Center. Beautiful, beautiful facility. Bull Riders only will be there. We're in round number 2, and as we kick it off, Richard Rule of Salty Dog and the Bailey Company. We've got it underway. Well, I thought he would do it. I told him ahead of the show that I thought he would do it.
Bull's only been ridden one time in the Bull Riders only competition. Salty Dog has. It was 90 points by Daryl Mills. Richard's been kicking himself because he doesn't think he's riding quite up to his own expectations, and I have to agree with him. He's had about a 38% ride ratio with Bull Riders only series. A guy as good as him ought to be riding 55, maybe even 60%.
You have to ride now.
Dax Lackey is one of the former winners. He picked up the win at Tacoma. He's the number 4 ranked man for the 94 year. This is Bernie, Texas. Bart Brown of the Bailey firm. That's the bonus round. Now this bonus round went pretty quick.
Including another 7,000, so it's a 17,000
mid-70s on this bull.
All right, Dax, come on.
To get out over him right to begin with, because he didn't. That's exactly what happens. He got set back, and it cost him right off the get-go. Bull had quite a bit of juice.
I'll tell he did. All right, he takes a look at him and says, "I'll get you next time." That's all for Dax.
First national finals rodeo last year. He is one of our senior
positions
as well.
Davis. Here's one of the in-house favorites and certainly one of the favorites with our fans. Davis. It heats up, doesn't it, level here?
Well, this is a good start for this round. I mean, they bucked off the first 3 guys out there, and they bucked them off actually relatively handily. That bull's been out probably 7 times with us. He's bucked 5 of the 7 guys that have been on him out. And you see the wreck happening right here. He immediately gets a little bit away from his hand, a little bit out over the bull. The bull's going in there, he falls in there, and next thing you know, he's hung up. Unfortunately, looks like he gets out of there without too much injury.
Well, we talked about the importance of those bullfighters. I think the bull kind of lost his footing. See him go right down there on his knee? That's the kind of break in the momentum or rhythm of the ride that can really get you in trouble. Well, the important thing is Davis does get up and walk away, but it'll be no score.
Our team, the regular team, Bull Riders Only Tour.
All right.
Charles Sansa, the world champion.
We go to Clarence Gibson.
Public relations officer down there.
He's on the seniors tour. It was in 93, his first appearance in Bull Riders Only, and it will be his last one on this show as Toy Tiger of the Bailey firm gets him. Be a no score.
Well, again, the Bulls seem to be winning this contest relatively handily. He jumps out there and immediately gets him sitting back off on his pockets and
Folks, we're
takes a
going to
left,
show you some smoke right now. Smoke, fire, and brimstone, I guess you could say, coming up in round number 3.
Warming up his rope. I get an uneasy feeling, Shaw. The last time I was in the television booth with you, we got about 3 or 4 riders into the round and not real concerned. And then suddenly we were 8 or 10 into the round and we were getting concerned.
If I own bulls, I want no reason on the television because the bulls absolutely end up winning here. I remember breaking it last time. We said that there was no way Greg Lewis could make the whistle on that bull, and it ended up working. So something to Mike Robinson to make the whistle on this bull here.
Smokin' Joe. We're going to hey, you may be on to something. You know, I think it's going to hurt. A little karma change here. Yes. Okay. The guru went with the cowboy this time. No, he went with the bull. That's what you did. Sure.
Yeah, they're going to prove me wrong. I'll do whatever it takes to get these guys to make the whistle. I'm definitely a cowboy's best friend.
Boy, that bull did blow in the air. I mean, got it on for a 78 score. When we started it right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Hermanson in that first round wasn't hustling very good. Right here, that bull falls down in his butt a little bit and sends Mike back, and Mike really hustles right back up there, gets out over that bull again, and he proved just the antithesis of what he did in the first round. A lot of hustle this time.
Boy, I like the way he handled that first jump. You see, that bull with that wild jump out of that gate did not get him an inch off of that rope.
No, and when he kind of falls down in his butt end here, when he kind of stumbles on his hind end here, and he sets him back right there, he's in a lot of trouble there. He just sits right back up, hustles, he makes some moves to get over there to the right, and to the left,
the same color, the same type of
we didn't see that in the first ride, but maybe he's riding as good as the bull's buck when he's going to ride to the level of the competition.
Nice nice view of the horns on a bull called Ready Teddy. Randall Thornton is the man that'll ride it. Bailey owns this bull. This is relatively a new bull, I think, to the Bailey firm.
Well, Ready Teddy is not a bull that we've seen at all. He's a brand new bull for Bailey. You know, they bring these bulls in and kind of keep working into the system. So we'll see what David
I guess we know that if Bailey or Andrews or any of the guys you see on Bull Riders Only hauls one to town, puts him on television, he's going to be a pretty good cat.
Well, he bucked pretty good coming out of there, but I definitely have to.
What else can you say but catch your breath and go on, folks? If you'd like to pay him off, I think he is
He looks like he's going to buck pretty good, but he didn't ride him far enough to tell for sure. But I guarantee you this, he did prove he's mean.
Well, I'll tell you what, he is. Just a little bit honky.
Oh, he's just trying to get some assistance out of the arena.
Well, if you like that 82-point run in round number 1, let's see if Urban
Well, we'll be right back with more
it
action here in round 2, so whatever you do, don't go away. We'll be back after this break. We're in round 2 at Bull Riders Only from Dodge City. Mike Hermanson has the lead with a 78 score. We're trying to bring 10 of them back for round 3 and a $10,000 prize. Urban Williams, he's the man that will try it now. Bojangles, this bull's been around a while. They've won a lot of money. I think he's got to see the citizen.
Absolutely, he's a little bit older than a lot of these bulls out there, and he gets good most of the time that he's out, so maybe Urban can get a good shot here. Urban, once again, seems like he's got a pretty good lock on him.
I'll tell you, it's so interesting to watch these boats. And I couldn't agree with you more, Shaw. It's supposed to be automatic. A man with his talents, and Bojangles just slowed a little. But old Jangles did everything he could to throw him off, but he just didn't get it done. Well, Bojangles doesn't have to leave with his head down because he and Williams are out front with an 87 score.
You made a good point, Hadley. This bull has absolutely got a little bit of experience on him. You can tell when he comes out there because he's getting with it to the right. He says to himself, Urban's got a lock. Let's go back to the left. No, let's don't do that. Let's go straight. Now let's go back to the left and see if we can't get him locked into his hand. Urban ain't no spring chick either. He's been around a little bit. And he matched him jump for jump and didn't really have a problem with it. I'm telling you, he's going to get to $10,800 at a time.
Darty Saunders, he's a Kansas man. Outlaw Willie, Sammy Andrews. Well, I mean, we do have a pen of bulls there. This hot weather doesn't bother them at all. Matter of fact, these kind of bulls, I think, like hot weather.
They sure seem to like hot weather right here. Darty's a guy who actually originally hails out of Nebraska and Wyoming parts. Lived in rodeo and trained on a lot of Pete Burns' bulls. Now he's moved to Kansas. With all the extra money that's come out in these Bull Riders Only events, it's coerced Darty out of semi-retirement and back on the trail.
To conquer an evil force of nature like that is just like Marshall Dillon bringing the bad
that bull
boy.
did get in the air and had a little of that kick.
Well, we've seen that bull many a time before. That's 363 Outlaw Willie, and this is a bull course that's been a bull of the year on a couple of occasions. We're used to seeing him in the final round, but he started developing some nasties and he started doing a little hop skipping, and Darty had his plate full with that bull in any round.
So he's down for the count.
Jimmy Morris, the
And it's a
Duncan, Oklahoma
no-score deal.
Cowboy.
Jimmy Morris, who has a lot of records on
We're
his
ready for
side,
you to
one
ride
of them being
one.
a win at Cheyenne Frontier Days a couple of years ago. But he's got other things on his mind tonight. He's got a $10,000 prize on his mind.
Well, when I saw him in Cheyenne Frontier Days last year, he was licking his chops about the bull he had there because it was a bull that he thought you could win some money on. And certainly in this circumstance here with Barat Helicopter, he should be licking his chops as well because this is a bull that should fit
Ladies and gentlemen,
into the team.
Helicopter Bull. Got to give you the
On the other
lowdown
hand, of
on
course,
this.
it'll be quite a while before he gets on.
He is unridden in the last, I don't know how many Bull Riders Only events. Right now, he is a
Boy,
very
look at that great
serious
crowd at Dodge
candidate for
City.
the short
It is
round with
rodeo
his
country,
ability.
and
Only
they
the
have
best
proved
bulls
it
are in the
tonight.
final round. Here is one of the best in this round, that is Sam's Township.
Here's Jimmy Morris, Oklahoma man, and his own Helicopter, another Andrews bull. This is a bull that should spin, but may not do it right at the gate.
Well, hopefully this bull will fit into the team. There are some bulls that spin right out of there, but he got in some trouble. The bull, generally, Helicopter's best move is when he first gets into it, he first turns back. He's got a pretty sharp corner on him. He digs into that ground pretty deep and gets with it, and Jimmy didn't get by that, so cost him the ride.
Well, I think the bull kind of clipped him on the lip. I'm trying to see exactly where that happened, whether he got him with a horn or what the case might be. I see him, it might have been right there, might have kicked him. I saw him walking away.
Might have, he had plenty of opportunities here. You know, when he loses that left foot, he gets whipped down there, and didn't really look like he got hit with a horn on the way down there. He's hung up, he gets smacked around there. Bull might have hit him with his hind foot, maybe even smacked him with the tail. And the tail may seem like it doesn't hurt, but he gets smacked with one of them tails pretty hard, pretty heavy, going around pretty fast.
Any way you count it, he's gone. No score. Shane Thurston going next. Butterfly Joe is the bull.
We're trying to get in the 90s.
Butterfly Joe, he's seen quite a few times too. He's bucked a lot of guys off. He's very, very heavy.
Spread your wings and fly away.
I see what you're talking about. He'll downdraft you just a little, won't he? Man, oh man.
Well, he's got a lot of snatch, and he hits pretty, gets up the front end pretty good, and then when he hits pretty stiff-legged, and it causes a lot of guys to get whipped down.
Now look at the power of that bull. You see him bail in the air. Now there's a bull that'll probably weigh 18, maybe 1900. When that front end drops, and right there it did, when they kick while they do that, what have we said? Anytime your boots get higher than the W's on your Wranglers, you're in trouble, right?
Unless you're sleeping, that's a sad place to be. You know, when that bull comes out of it, you can see as it comes up the front end, it's what we call a big old lumbering bull, because see where the rope is, that rope position is moving a great deal. And the guy really has to just sort of set up on his legs and almost vault himself over the front end of that bull to stay in position. He was unable to do that. I mean, it sounds like it's easy to do, but when bull's bucking like that, it ain't so easy to do.
We're looking right there at the number 5 all-time winner on Bull Riders. Now we're back on track. This looks a little more like.
Mark's going to add a little quotation marks there to what he's doing, because not only is he going to make the whistle, but he's going to thump him a little bit as he does. He had him dead cinched, locked in there, and he is not the type of guy who's easily affected by the trends. And the trends, of course, is they're bucking a bunch of guys off. 88 points for Mark. I mean, when a guy is in his zone, you know, he's not going to be as much affected by what's going on around him. You know, we've talked about how when you start out bucking a bunch of guys off, how the trends seem to go against you. Well, Mark's the kind of guy, the kind of champion that'll snap a trend like that.
When he opened up on that bull, I think that accounted for the extra point that put him out in front. 88 Martin has the lead of round 2. Well, Aaron Seamus is not thrilled about this match. Wild Toad of the Andrews Rodeo Cup has been on the bull before.
No, I think he's more accurately kind of sick about it. And I think you can see why. I was talking to Aaron before he came here. He said, you know what? I got a speeding ticket for going 95 miles an hour just to find out I got to get on him. And he says, I don't even know why I'm here. And I said, well, I think you expect to ride him. He said, no. He says, I don't think I can ride him. I've already tried him several times and it ain't worked.
Well, I mean, now that bull will set you up, and he did.
He's got as many moves as any bull I've ever seen. When you watch him come out here, one of the first things you should pay attention to is the way he kicks. He doesn't kick out. What he does is he kicks up underneath himself. See how that butt was going up underneath himself? He can actually kick you in the foot with them hind feet. Plus, he's leaping in the air. He's twisting. That bull absolutely's got a lot of moves. There ain't going to be very many guys that ride him.
Well, he brought down a good one, I can tell you that. This round 2 is not over by any means. And we'll be back with more of it after we pause for this word.
This year.
Welcome back to Dodge City, and you can see on the screen that our next stop will be August 27th, Salt Lake City, Utah, the Delta Center. You see the 801 number 325-7328. You can find more information about tickets and availability of same. Salt Lake City now, Byron Dwarf. Selma Express. We got to get another, we're not going to get another. We have 3 qualified rides thus far in round 2. We're going to have to warm it up, Sean Sullivan.
Well, we got 5 left. Most we're going to have in that final round is 8. You should see what that bull with Myron just got on. That's what we call a little bit of centrifugal force gets him there. He's actually not setting up real bad on him right here, but he gets a little bit to the outside of the spin, and when you do that, well, when your bull's going away from your hand, you're going to have to come up with something new to make the whistle.
This guy has really been aggressive. He's been riding with an awful lot of confidence. This is his 6th Bull Riders Only appearance for the year. But you know, the bull's having an awful good year. Confidence works both ways, and this time in the favor of the bull.
Well, Myron has a 67% ride ratio, but that bull there is a good bucking bull. Selma Express, Andrews, and obviously in this particular case, they didn't have a shot with that one.
Well, you can see that at Dodge City, the roundup, it's the Cowboys Rodeos. And they will be held August 3rd through the 7th of this year.
Bull Riders Only is pretty privileged to be here with Dodge City. These guys have been great to us. The committee is just fantastic.
Well, that's Jeff Gathard. That's one of your partners. Look out, Jeffrey. Super Dave is the bull that he came up with. Now, that's the 3rd all-time money-winning bull on Bull Riders Only. And I know that Jeff had to be tickled to death to get him, but it didn't work out for him.
Well, you know, actually, in a situation like that, when you got the big-time money bull, you got a lot more pressure than a guy thinks. Yeah, you're tickled to death to have him, but boy, you just don't want to make a mistake. And I'll tell you something about Double Rock Super Dave. He certainly gets ridden a lot, but he certainly bucked off the likes of Tough Hedeman. He's bucked off the likes of Mark Kane. He's bucked off some guys who ride real good. So, you know, that pressure and the fact that as he gets older, he seems to buck better.
Tuesday for the
It works that way a lot of
shooting
times.
it live. We told you Hadley Barrett and Shaw Sullivan. They'll be bringing it to you right there.
Now, you see Salt Lake City coming up. We talked about that earlier. Wichita, Kansas will be in mid-September. Greensboro, North Carolina. Brand new stop for Bull Riders Only. Watch for that one the 1st of October. And back in Denver for the finals. That'll be the 14th and 15th. Now to Josh O'Brien. Back in round 2 here at Dodge City. Mighty spotty is this bull. Boy, I've always liked this bull. I like the way this bull really has that good spin and kicks hard.
Well, you know, he's a pretty bull for one, but he's absolutely just good on his buck. You know, he gets out there, he jumps and kicks, he gets right into it, stays with it. You know, from a bull rider's perspective, you know, he's another one of those ones that you really want to get on. He's not usually going to buck hard enough to really put you at the top of, say, a final round or something, but certainly in this second round, he's exactly what you want to get on. Josh had him going away from his hand and had some trouble getting around the corner on him to begin with. And just never seemed to recover from there. He seemed to get a little bit further back and have more problems as he went.
You know, here in Dodge City, we talk about some of the rodeo greats, the Roberts, the Sankeys, the people like that. Well, here's a guy that's a 2-time Brazilian champion, and he happens to be 2nd in the standings of Bull Riders Only. This is Adriano Moraes. It's a man that won back-to-back Bull Rider Only events a little earlier this year. Dancing Wolf of the Andrews Company is the bull. Now, Shaw, our behind-the-scenes guru, if you will, Dennis Humphrey, made the call. This was his pick to win this round, this match here. Do you agree with him?
Well, I really like the bull. You know, he's only been ridden one time. The one time he was ridden, Jeff Cathcart, I believe, had him in Casper. 84 points on him. Adriano has proved since he's been over in the States that he's extremely sticky. Here's a guy who's got 78% ride ratio, and Adriano right now has ridden 6 of his bulls for the Tough Enough Award. That's bulls ridden in the rounds 2 and 3. That puts him behind Terry Don West for the $10,000 at the end. Now Terry Don pulled a groin muscle and hasn't been at our last 2 events. So now is a perfect opportunity for Adriano to jump out there, and at least on this bull right here, he can tie it. $10,000 bonus never ever hurts a guy.
No. I mean, that sounds like a nice little Christmas gift to me.
It's a good chunk.
Adriano, I mean, his percentage is so high, as you stated.
In his riding style, he uses a combination of strength and style. And he rides real good, but he also, when he gets in trouble, he's very, very strong.
I think he's going to ride this bull.
Oh, he's got him dead to rights. He's posting real good. Didn't seem to have any problem with him at all.
So Dancing Wolf fits him good. Dennis Humphrey knew what he was talking about. You know, I guarantee you he did. Adriano says all in a day's work. If you were to talk to him, he would say this bull very difficult.
Very difficult. He don't speak a whole lot of English. He speaks a lot of Portuguese, but he's doing everything right here. He's getting way out over that bull. He's getting way in front of his rope. He's changing holts real good. The bull's giving him a lot of stuff here. He's going right. He's going left. He rode real good. Adriano, I'm telling you, he's wowing when he comes over this country. He's giving the U.S., Canadians, and Australians one for everything they got.
Boy, I mean, he's a smart bull rider. And you see the way he uses that freehand. His 81 score, surprisingly enough, with that great ride, puts him third in this round for the moment. That's the way it's looking.
Well, you gotta like this. They've only ridden 4 bulls, but certainly the 4 bulls they've ridden have been real good ones. I mean, 78's in 4th place. They've had to ride for it.
Well, here's the guy that says he has had a bit of a hump in his back this year. I don't know. The bull riding gods have not been on Jim Sharp's side. Here's a 2-time champion of the world, and here's a guy that, while he'll jump in and win a round every now and then, he can't seem to come up with an overall bull rider's only win for the year. Tonight may be the night.
Jim took a couple of weeks off and got on a lot of practice bulls, and got on some of the rodeos near his house, and told me the other day he thinks he's got his problem solved.
Come on right here,
Yes.
He's setting up good right here, and he's knocking the hooter out. Dead ease. You can hear the crowd going crazy. They like Jim Sharp.
You bet, and that bull going right into his hand. That had to be exactly what he'd been waiting for. But look at that rack of horns on that bull. If that doesn't intimidate you, then you've got ice water in your veins. 89 is that score.
That'll motivate you to ride good. Look at the hump in his back and watch him straighten it out. As the bull first came out there, he had a hump in his back. He straightened it right out, sit right up, and next thing you know, he's in perfect shape. We saw him at Tacoma, Washington. Bull went into his hand. He had to get way over there in order to feel comfortable. Here, he's sitting right in the middle of that bull. Rode him just like Jim Sharp has shown us time and time he can do. That's why he's got 2 world buckles to his credit.
Well, I would imagine that Rex and Joe Murray from Texas will get his autograph tonight. You know, they are great fans of Bull Riders Only. They watch the programs all the time. Bob Edson and I met Joe in the lobby of the hotel. They said we had to see a live event. We watch them all on television. Well, Joe and Rex, we're glad to have you here in Dodge City. This is Clint Bronger. Oh, man. Here's a guy that is a $50,000 winner at Bull Riders Only. Blue Duck of the Andrews firm. This is a young bull. How do you make this call, Shaw?
Well, the bull, the only times we've seen him is buck some guys off. Clint seems to be pretty high in the bull. He's been riding real good this year, period. He's had some trouble with the Bull Riders Only series. It just seems to run into some bad luck.
As you can see those scores, we had an 89, 88, 87. Well, that bull went clear to his knees. Now, that's the kind of timing, believe it or not, you might think it'll alter the performance of the bull. Frankly, it has. Boy, we did get wiped out. Everybody gonna be all right?
There's a perfect example right there how great Lloyd Ketchum is. You know, he put himself in front of that bull, and there wasn't really a whole lot of room or time to get around there. And he took the hit instead of having to make Clint take it.
Incredible hard-earned
78 is the score for Bronger as we look at this again. Now see that bull go clear to his knees when you break that rhythm, and we talked about it earlier. You take a guy that maybe does not have as much experience as this man, they may fall victim of it. Well, he took a bad shot at the end, Ketchum, and Dwayne was in there to help him out. We're looking good at a 78 score. Whatever you do, don't go away. We'll be right back after this with more of Bull Riders Only.
5 minutes of your life. No stray too far. Financial. We'd like to
welcome back to Dodge City, Kansas, Bull Riders Only, and we're getting ready to go into round number 3 at a $10,000 prize. Of the intended 10 coming in, we'll show you 6. Clint Bronger on the bull, Achy Breaky. Bull of the Year, Gunslinger. Mark Kane is the man matched up with him. Boy, I'm telling you, this is going to be some kind of a bull ride. Mike Hermanson is going to kick it off on a bull called Sugar Bear. Now, we'll be looking at Irvin Williams, ADRIANO, MORAES, Clint Bronger, Jim Sharp. At the top of the show, you may recall we talked about the Nightmare. Well, it has begun. The last time we saw these bulls shove in Rapid City, one ride. This is the All-Star Bull Chevy Trucks. All-Star Bull Sugar Bear. Let's watch it.
4-0 Miles has got his work cut out for him on this bull. This bull's been tested by some of the gamest competitors around, and so far in any professional event so far, they've not been able to ride 22 Sugar Bear.
Well, that is a rank bull. He is a rank bull, and while he may be a newcomer to some, the television viewers of Bull Riders Only are getting mighty, mighty used to this one. I'll tell you that for sure.
Well, you can see
that bull really got out from under him. Now, when we came into round 3, we showed you only 3 of the top 6 qualifiers. We were trying for 10 back, and we got 6. Here's the other 3 guys we didn't show you. Adriano Moraes, he's the only guy to ride 1 in Rapid City, that 3rd round. Jim Sharp is in there. Look at that, Bodacious. Now that's going to be his, what, 2nd match?
Yeah, he was on that bull once before and rode him about 7.9 seconds. One tremendous bull ride. And boy, I tell you what, the matchups are such that we're either going to have one of our best short rounds ever, or we're going to have a sudden death overtime.
Well, another Chevy Truck All-Star Bull, and it's Playboy. It's Dagger, I should say, and Herman Williams is the man aboard. Dagger happens to be a Longhorn. Now, does that fit the decor of Dodge City, Kansas? How many Longhorns did they ever drive through this city? We have one right back here now.
Quite a few, and they just ran one right under this guy right here. I'll tell you something about Irvin and B. Dagger. He can ride this bull. A lot of side-to-side motion. He's got a lot of sunfishes and stuff in him. Irvin, now it's time to get your payday. You don't win $20,000, $800 at a time. Now that you got darn near 10, let's do it at one time.
I tell you, I got a feeling. I got a bad feeling. I didn't tell you what it was. Now I know what it was.
You couched that one just right.
Oh, man.
They won quite a bit of money on that bull, and generally the playbook on that bull is you either ride him and win a bunch of money or you don't ride him at all. A sunfish there that he gave him cost him.
I mean, he does come around. And when you see Irvin come down from this bull, look at the position that bull's got him in. A lot of scramble. Again, you're going to need Dwayne Hargo and Lloyd Ketchum, and we got him. Well, that is 2 of the 6 that you're going to see here in round 3. And we're shooting for a $10,000 prize. You can see exactly what it's like right there, and more of it if you just don't go away. Stay with us, whatever you do. We'll be back after this important message, and we'll be back with more of this great bull riding. 336-2855. Jot that down. That'll give you a lot more information about the available tickets when you'd like to go, and I'm sure you will. That's going to be a great event in the Kansas Coliseum. That's been one of the hot spots and one of the positive stops for Bull Riders Only. September 24th. Rubbing a little rosin on the rope is Adriano Moraes. Playboy is the bull. Terry Don West was a victim of this bull after a real close match in Rapid City, huh?
He was a victim, and he was also a winner. You see, Terry Don got on him twice. He rode him in Casper for 93 points, and then he got him the very next weekend. He got on him in Rapid City, where Playboy learned a few things about how to buck Terry Don West off. The bull's been 2-2, actually, not 2-1. He's been ridden one other time. He was ridden by Gary Richards, 91 points. Terry Don rode him for 93. So now we're looking at a bull that certainly is extremely smart. Now, Adriano, a lot of these guys from the States are thinking about pulling their rope backwards, too, because Adriano has had such tremendous success. Maybe that's the secret.
He does pull his rope backwards, doesn't he? And it works for him.
Well, it sure seems to work for him. I'll tell you what, you know, this is drawn up very tough. I absolutely think on 10 attempts that Adriano Moraes could ride this bull 5 of those tries. We'll see if he can get one of them right here.
Well, if he does here in Dodge City, he'll be one notch closer to a Bull Riders Only championship for the 94 year. He is second only to Terry Don West, and that was the last victim of this bull, as we talked about that earlier. All right, Adriano, the next state goes down. Man, does he fail in the air? He fails in the air. Oh, my goodness. The left foot came out. I thought there was no way in the world that he would ride that bull after the first 3 or 4.
popped him a pretty good one there in the nose. You know, this bull has a very similar style of bucking to V. Dagger, whom he rode in Phoenix to win the event. Sitting in there pretty good, but you see how high that bull comes up with his front end. He's going to cause you difficulties. Now, he leaps out of there and starts out strong. You see how high he's getting up. Now, sometimes he'll kick, sometimes he don't kick so much. Now he's getting the Adriano set back just a little bit. Now he's going to pop that up. Boom, the head comes up. Boom. We call that an intersection. And this ain't math, so it's a little more physical. Right there, right? Didn't hit a horn, hit him right on the back of that head. And let me explain something to you. If you've ridden bulls, you'll understand the back of that head is every bit as hard as them horns.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, oh man.
You can make it feel better if you like.
Well, if you've just joined us, we're in Dodge City, Kansas for bull riders only, round number 3. And you're looking at the hand of a great, great bull rider. That's Clint Bronger. And he's drawing it up on a mighty, mighty tough bull.
Let's set the stage. This is the all-time money-winningest bull in Bull Riders Only Series, Achy Breaky. They've won more money on this bull than any other bull. Every time they ride him, as you can see, Terry Don run Denver on him with a 95. We've seen lots of guys riding for wins. When they ride this bull, they win it. Now, you got the highest money winner that's riding here tonight. He's the 3rd highest money winner in Bull Riders Only Series. And of course, Tough Hedeman, which is 2nd, has been injured and unable to compete all year, or maybe never again. And Terry Don West is injured as well. If this isn't a matchup, I don't know what is.
I don't know what to tell you. Bronger may be the man of the hour. Bronger's going to ride this bull. I'm going to get out on a limb. He's going to ride this bull. And I think he did ride this bull. When we were reviewing those stats, and as Shaw told you, when they ride him, they win. But in '94, they had ridden him only one time, so the bull had really been hot. Well, I think, hey, Clint says, I've rode other bulls that had good records.
Finally, he's been trying to get out of that first round for some time. All season, he's been locked into that first round. And right here, the bull raring, jumping, kicking, and Clint's locked in there real good. 91 points. There's a couple of bull rides left, but, you know, the way things are going, they're going to be hard-pressed to even make the whistle on anything left.
Man, oh, man. And you talk about a great ride. Bronger knows. He knows that it was going to work for him if he could just get there. Now, as you take a look at it, as Shaw told you, the 91 score will put him out in front, but this thing is not over by any means. There are 2 men still have their sights on that $10,000 prize. We're going to pause briefly for this message, and then we'll be back with those 2 exciting bull rides.
Wendell Hamilton's man is set to ride for 10 old time before we head home tonight.
September 24th, remember that date, Wichita, Kansas, at the Kansas Coliseum. That's another one of the permanent stops on Bull Riders Only. Speaking of Kansas, that's exactly where we're at. Dodge City, Kansas, round 3, and we're riding it off for a $10,000 prize. Now, before we went to commercial, Clint Bronger turned in a 91-point ride to move out in front of the pack. Mark Kane has drawn the 1993 Bull of the Year, Gunslinger. Shaw, what do you think about this bull?
Well, we got Gunslinger has only been ridden one time. In the last 3 attempts, he's bucked everybody off. The one time he was ridden, it almost doesn't even count because he's ridden by Terry Don West. And it's hard to buck that guy off, period. But, and the 90 points was scored on him at that time. But I tell you what, Gunslinger, a lot of guys will argue with you, and I know our bull man Dennis Humphrey tells me time and time again that that's the buckinest bull there in the country right here. So Mark Kane, our 1991 Bull Riders Only World Champion, certainly has his work cut out for him. But I tell you, tonight he's looked really sharp.
You know, those big old horns have to be intimidating. That big Brahma hump on the front of that bull has to be intimidating. Mark Kane is into it with him. He's into it with him. Come on, Mark. Boy, that bull is sustained. They say that he is pure, that he is a bucking bull, and he is pure. He is no freak. He doesn't have any of those freaky shots. I guess he just bucks, doesn't he?
He absolutely does, and he absolutely did there. You know, he's usually relatively smart about going the other direction, but obviously the bull felt like if he kept going to the right, he was going to eventually unseat him. You see, Mark starts out in there, and you see he starts looking out. He's looking out right here. The problem with looking out is if you look out too long, you end up out. out. It's a good move to get from the inside to the outside. The difficult thing then is to get back in the middle. So as you see this bull turn back, he starts out a little bit into his hand, and boom, he moves over there too far. Look where his butt is. It's too far in.
Yep.
Now he's looking out, but now he's got to get back over there in the middle.
Well, you see, the bull faked him a little. He cut to the left out of the gate, and I don't know if Mark felt he was going to come back or not. So it is a no-score deal. Well,
let's go to the left.
Clint Bronger with a 91. He's out in front of the pack. And Jim Sharp is warming up his rope. And this is, as we stated a little bit earlier, a rematch between Sharp and a bull that, you know, I guess, while he is obviously a Chevy Truck all-star bull, I think the bull is maybe destined to be bull of the year.
He's a great, great animal. You know, the only times they really rode this bull is when he was probably 600 pounds lighter than he is right now. Jim Sharp got on this bull a couple of years ago at the National Farmers Rodeo. He rode him 7.9 seconds in one of the greatest bull rides I've ever seen, even though he didn't make the whistle. The bull is 9-1. Bucked off the last 4 guys. The only guy that's ridden him in the Bull Riders Only Series was Tough Hedeman for the World Championship last year in what was the greatest bull ride I have ever seen. 95 points.
Yeah, you know, I think, not criticizing the judges in any way, I think they were a little conservative at 95 on that ride.
No question. You know, the ride came a little earlier, and sometimes judges want to make sure there's a little room left in case something else happens. And I think you're right. I think he was real conservative at 95. And we saw Clint Bronger get on this bull in Rapid City, South Dakota. Rode him less than 2 seconds. Right now, Clint Bronger's got an easy win if Jim Sharp can't ride this bull.
Right.
Jim can play the spoiler again, and you know, we've seen Jim play the spoiler to Clint before, haven't we?
Yes, we have. And you know, we also perhaps have our audience set up to the degree that they will feel that this man will win this $10,000 prize if he rides that bull. I'm going to give us a little room there, too. We know that these bulls are athletes. So they have their good days and bad. It is possible that Bodacious won't have a good day. It's possible that Jim may whistle the bull, as we call it, for an 8-second ride, but it may be so raggy that he doesn't score a 91. So it's not an, you know, it's not an automatic win. And I see he's wearing some new equipment, isn't he?
Well, you know, a lot of these guys are starting to wear these protective vests, and I think it's a great idea because what it keeps them from doing is it maybe keeps them from ending up the same kind of fate that Lane Frost did. And protection is a smart thing to do. It's not an unmanly thing to do, and I'm glad to see it. I'll tell you what, he took some extra time with this bull. He's going to make sure things are right. This bull has a tendency when he's getting ridden to get stronger towards the end. And if he has his day, Jim's going to have to get stronger towards the end to make it work.
Well, I mean, the bull did blow him out of there. Now, you have to wonder how much psychological effect the record of this bull had. Did you see the way those bullfighters are in there so quick to take away any danger that a guy may have when he gets blowed out of there that first jump? Lloyd Ketchum, Dwayne Hargo, we're proud of you guys. I'll tell you that for sure.
On Bodacious, I'm not sure if it's just intimidation or if it's sheer strength, but that bull has bucked off the best cowboys in the entire world more quickly than any bull I've ever seen in the history. Look how fast this happens. Boom, rope is gone.
Yep, it pulled the rope right out of his hand.
He's had a jump and a half, and he bucked him off. He's bucked Clint Bronger off that way. He's bucked Dax Lackey off that way. He's bucked Jerome Davis off that way. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
You're right. Now look at it again and look closely at Jim's riding hand. Watch his riding hand. Now, we've talked about getting out of position, but when your hand comes out of that, see him blow it right out of there, took it right there. Now watch Lloyd Ketchum. Look at the timing. You see Jim is vulnerable right there. He is vulnerable. There comes Ketchum between the bull and the man. That is what it's all about. We will and do have a champion for $10,000, and we'll share him with you if you'll stay with us. We'll be back with that in just a moment.
The cowboy's business is a business of silence. 100 miles of fence gives a person time to think, to wonder about who he is and what the world is coming to. Talk to a cowboy long enough and you'll get an opinion on everything. That's because he's had time to think about everything. Yeah, at Wrangler, we know cowboys. Our genes were invented by them. That's why the West is in us. Wrangler, the Western original.
Yet another Bull Riders Only Series final round where there was only one qualified ride and the Bulls reigned supreme. I'm here with the Roper Ride of the Night, Clint Bronger, 91 points on Achy Breaky. You knew when you hit the ground you had the 10 grand, didn't you?
Well, I knew I had a heck of a ride. I knew Jim Sharp had yet to ride, and he had J31, which is an awful bull as far as I'm concerned. I didn't ride him any farther than Jim did tonight when I had him in Rapid City. So when I hit the ground tonight, I was real happy to make a good ride because I haven't really been doing much lately, and I was real happy to make a good ride tonight, and that's an excellent bull to do it on.
Well, you know, you're the highest money winner that was riding here. Of course, Terry Don's hurt and Tuff's out for maybe good. Achy Breaky's the biggest money winning bull. Tell us as we go to the ride what he felt like.
Well, he's just a real strong bull, and if you get back on him, he's gonna jerk you off your rope. And around that corner, I was raised up, and then after that, I got loosened up and then got up over the front end and rode him real good. And he's just a really good feeling bull. I really can't say much except thank Sammy Andrews for a great bull.
Now, do you think he bucks harder when he's spinning, or do you think he bucks harder when he goes out there and makes that circle?
Right there, probably the first 4 jumps, maybe 5 jumps was the key, I think. And after I handled that, then the rest of it was all cake.
Well, now you're out of the first round. You've got yourself in the seated position we all know that you deserve, and we can go on with the rest of the season and maybe rack up some major wins.
Well, that's what I'm after, and I hope it works good for us.
All right, well, back to you, Hadley.
There might be some disappointed people here in Dodge City, but they'd have to be bull riders. Among them would not be Clint Bronger or this great audience in this cowboy city of Dodge City. It was some kind of a great bull ride, and we expected it to be. And the top 4 in Dodge City wound up like this. Clint Bronger picked up the win. He also won another 1,000. And Sharp, Kane, and Williams share in the top 4. Our national standings showed Terry Don West, even though he did not make an appearance here, at over 24,000 still in front. The major change was Bronger moved into the top 5. The Wrangler Bull Riders Only Series has been brought to you in part by Chevy Truck, our official truck that we drive. By Award Design Medal, the official buckle of the Wrangler Bull Riders Only Series. Shirts provided by Roper Apparel. For Shaw Sullivan, this is Hadley Barrett. Next time, Bro goes to the beautiful Delta Center in Salt Lake City. More Bro Crunch Time.